I'm just telling everybody what's going on first. Yeah, this is great. This is great. All right, welcome everyone out to Van Sessions here at the Monarch Building. Rick, thank you very much. Home to home to artisans and creatives in the heart of Ogden's Nine Rails Arts District. Van Sessions is where we play live music sets from a van, record them as a studio audience podcast. My name is R. Brandon Long, alongside Todd Obendorfer. We are the Banyan Collective today. Van Sessions is proud to partner with Ogden City Arts, the Monarch, and Roosters Brewing. Find all Van Sessions podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube by simply searching Van Sessions or the Banyan Collective. Share the love. You can tag us at Van Sessions in all of your social media posts. All right, now on Van Sessions, this is a very special treat. Normally you don't get classical musicians in here, so this is Miki Sawada. Beautiful. Beautiful. So good. All right. Miki Sawada here on Van Sessions. We discussed earlier before the show started that, so from Japan and Boston, and then you've been sort of, well, wait a minute. Where did you say you were big in? Where do we say? West Virginia or somewhere? West Virginia. Okay. Oh, wait. I've done it one time before. One time. Yeah. So huge in West Virginia. Most people don't know that. Yeah. Miki, how did you get started? How old were you? Classically trained, or take me through the process.
I started playing probably when I was 5 or 4, and I've been playing since. And I was never really into it actually because I hated practicing, and I quit for a couple years in high school. And then when I took it back up, I was kind of had a renewed energy for it.
Yeah, but what happened? Why did you take it back up?
I think I had to miss it in order to realize it's like relationships. Sometimes you have to break up with someone to realize you need them in your life.
Yeah, pianos are very similar. But arts, music, and something that you're dedicated to and you spend a lot of time on. And maybe, I don't know if it was forced as a child, but if you're busy doing it a lot, then you just need a break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was never my choice until that
okay.
time. Yeah.
And then when you came back to it, did it take a while to pick things back up again, or?
No, but I decided I wanted to go to college for music, and I had a lot of catching up to do because for classical musicians, usually you have to spend a lot of your high school years really prepping, and I didn't.
Yeah, I imagine you grow leaps and bounds through those ages,
Exactly.
So if you miss those ages, there's a little bit of catching up.
I was catching up for maybe 5 years, I feel like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, how much just natural talent do you think plays a part in it?
Maybe a good amount.
Yeah.
Maybe like half and half.
Have 50-50. I'll credit 50-50. And then when you went back to studying, did you go to school or okay?
So I went to Northwestern University at
Okay.
their school of music, and then I went to graduate school. So
Okay.
8 years total of
Yeah.
music studies.
And now you're a touring artist,
That's right.
essentially. So
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Tell us about the first piece you played.
So I just played a little piece by Bach, and it's actually a piece for a larger ensemble for a church service, and I transcribed it for piano. It's just a really nice way to open a show. It gets people listening and contemplating.
Well, I love that you're mobile and here on Van Sessions with the mobile piano, and then take us into the next song. When we come back, we'll talk about the reasons you're here in Ogden.
So I'm going to play a piece called Bloom by a composer named Brendan Randall Myers. And I actually commissioned this piece to play in West Virginia. And I just released it as an album last week. Got a big shout out in Bandcamp. So
Awesome.
here it is.
So good. That's amazing. Miki, how long were you into your journey before you started using the effects in your work?
Oh, working with electronics?
Yep.
I started doing that pretty early, like in graduate school when I met really cool composers and, wanted to work with them.
Yeah.
So Brendan and I actually met in graduate school.
Yeah, it adds an awesome element to everything that you do. And then also, side note, behind the scenes, I need to know how the music shifts on the iPad.
Oh, I have a Bluetooth pedal on the
Bluetooth
on the
pedal?
ground.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've heard of those, and I'm like, do those things work? Oh, they work.
It works.
I'm watching. I don't know, maybe that's the industry standard. Nobody uses those now, but you can see it on the camera. I thought, that's cool. Also, I don't know how you read music that fast, but that's another story. It's probably more of a guide than anything. But
That's true, yeah.
all right. Well, you're here in Ogden tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us at Van Sessions. I think you're going to be at Platforms later this evening. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is part of my Gather Here tour, HEAR. And what I'm doing is I'm traveling with this piano.
Yeah, you're literally, so we're in a van, but you're also in a van.
I'm in a van that works. I don't know if your van works.
Yeah, we drive it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. We drive it.
So you really should swap because it's so much better looking than my U-Haul. But I'm setting up the piano in community gathering spaces all over the country instead of in concert halls, and using that as a way to get to know Americans all across the board, everywhere. I thought of this project, when Trump was elected, and I realized just how little I know about this country and the people that live here. So I thought classical music could be used.
Oh, it's a great introduction. Yeah. So what have you learned?
What have I learned? People love music.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if people would love classical music because I feel like it's such a niche genre, but people really respond in a primal way, and that's been really beautiful to witness everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm. Do you have ideas that are generating, that now that you're doing this on tour, that you're like, okay, next time I need to do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do this state by state, and this is my 4th state, and it's a very long-term project, so I'm changing as a person as I do this project. Running is a very important part of my life, now especially, so I would like to incorporate a running component to my next tour, so I'm scheming about that with the film director.
Oh, man. Like running.
Gather Here Running Club.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like the piano on the back of a car, you running behind it, trying to play. That's what came in my head.
But also, running is also a primal way for people to, create bonds together, right? Running together. Yeah, so I would love to do that.
Yeah, so in my other life, I work in the outdoor industry, and so whenever I've noticed the jobs in which you go spend time with others outdoors, you always have a closer bond.
Yes.
And, the corporate world does some of those excursions and stuff where they take the team out and they go hang out outside for a day or something. And sometimes that works. But really, when you go backpacking with somebody or skiing or kayaking or something, you just become more family than anything.
Yeah, moving together.
Yeah. So running's the same thing. Trail running, road running, same thing. So, yeah, it is a good way to meet people and bring people together. Has your music changed at all? I mean, you're pretty early in on the tour. Is there different stuff you're looking at doing later in the tour?
So I try to commission a piece for each state, and that kind of dictates the rest of our program. Like Brendan's piece for West Virginia really was like the centerpiece of what I toured with. This time I commissioned a composer from Salt Lake City named Elizabeth Curbelo, and she wrote a piece that's about hot springs in Utah and about the drought and climate change, and that involves audience participation. There's a live poetry component. I've actually never performed it, so tonight's going to be my first time. But
no time like the present and live, yeah.
Yeah, so actually a lot of the program has a nature theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I love the idea of it. I didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. Susan, thanks so much she said she plays the piano. I'm like, bring a piano down to the Monarch. We'll do it. So I'm excited. You'll be set up basically for those listening right across the street for the rest of the evening, I think around 7 o'clock
7:30?
or something, 7:30, and we'll play for a bit longer. So let's get another tease here and take us out with one last song if you want to introduce it.
Yeah, so this is Deep River, which is a spiritual, African-American spiritual. And yeah, it's beautifully arranged by a Black British composer named Samuel Coleridge Taylor. And yeah, it's about slaves singing about freedom on the other side of the river, and I just thought it's a beautiful thing to include in my program.
Beautiful. Fantastic. So good. Miki Sawada on Van Sessions. So look for the upcoming podcast version of this show by searching Van Sessions on your favorite podcast app. This afternoon's production was brought to you in part from a generous grant via Ogden City Arts, along with support from the Monarch Building and Roosters Brewing. Thank you, everyone, for your generous support. We'll be right back here in about 30 minutes for our next artist. So stick around. I will see you then. Thanks, everyone.